Okay, for the post-weekly analysis, we have to go back to the to the end of last week, because we were still waiting for a GCAD long on Friday. So I said the GCAD was potentially gearing for a D15 long, and to maybe wait for the 1 hour to come back to the EMA, right? So zero with the wave cross or the EMA. So we'll go look at the GCAD. I did catch this long on my IC Markets account. Alright, so the charts have been messy. I'm just leaving all the markups there to show you the structure that we were tracking. This is where I was when I was calling out that move on the Friday. So let's just go down to the 1 hour, and you can see that it was Saturday at 2 o'clock in the morning we had that retracement to the EMA. So I'm just going to delete, or I'll just move that out the way quickly just so you can see. Monday, that's where we opened. So the real entry for this higher low was actually over here, but I had to wait for the spreads to calm down, and I got a long position on my personal account probably from about 11 onwards. So it wasn't great because I had to still swing the structure of the Saturday morning retracement, which was actually the correct move. But anyhow, that was a long scalp that I got on that GCAD call we put out. Okay, then at the start of this week, Monday morning, I said, from what I can see now, AU, EU, and GU are bullish. The JPY pairs I need to track, but maybe they'll be a little short initially. Okay, so as of now, it is Friday, by the way. Friday morning, I can tell you that AU, EU, and GU have all longed. We'll go look at the charts. It was obviously not pretty with this tariff news that came out. JPY, I did catch a little short on GJ, which we'll show you. And that also went a bit crazy. And then GCAD, this is when, that morning is when I was still catching that little long that I showed you that I did already catch. And then I thought that the weekly might push it down. So you have to watch, right? And that's exactly what happened, but it wasn't very pretty. So we'll have to go and look at the charts with that. Anyhow, that was my initial thoughts. And yeah, so Aaron was saying that because GU was bullish on the monthly, we might have the formation of the bottom wick of the monthly candle before it creates the body of the candle. So initially it might be choppy or short and then push up. So we can go look at EU and how that formed, because EU is absolutely ripped off that tariff news. So we'll go to the charts now and have a look up until that point what has occurred. Let's look at EU, and you can see that monthly candle. That was not looking like that with the picture we sent in the Discord, but exactly what we said is potentially get a bottom wick. We thought it would be deeper than what it ended up being. Anyhow, let's just go down to a lower time frame and we can see the lay of the land. The white line is the weekly open. Okay, so you can see it did come down a little bit and try to put in somewhat of a wick. So bearish initially was not a wrong call, but it wasn't a proper type of a short. It was just bearish to create the bottom wick of a bullish monthly candle, and that went crazy off the tariff news. So just to show you the thought process behind that, and I think GU's also longed, and we will get to the other calls now. We're getting into the proper structural development, so I'll just go back to the Discord quickly. Okay, and what day was this? After that short scalp had played out on GCAD, was just showing everybody that it wasn't the cleanest move because it actually set up on Saturday at an awkward time. Alright, so then with a 12-hour close, I'm revising AU to bearish. GCAD still bullish for now. So AU compared to EU and GU did chop around quite badly. And then I said G, J, and CJ have shifted bearish. And at the time, UCAD was bullish. So if you want to relong UCAD, you need to wait for something like this. That is what it was looking like live when I sent out the call. We can go and look at what happened there. And what day was that? Still Monday evening. So let's go and have a look at all of this information here. I'll show you how AU did not look great. and the shift on GJ and CJ. With AU's structure, you can see here that it broke this level over here. That was the reason why I was calling it bearish Monday evening, because it had broken this level. It was still obviously putting in maybe a bottom wick for a monthly candle, but it just wasn't as good as EU. You can see here it's not even body closed above these highs, whereas EU's just a skyscraper. So AU's not a great pair, not even looking to consider it for anything just at the moment anyway. And then I did say CJ and GJ had a bearish shift as well. Just want to see where that was. I was probably looking at this breakdown over here, closing structure to the left. So and then GJ is one where I actually ended up catching a short, but we will go into it. Okay, we'll come back to this, but you can see the shift here. This was a higher low to create this higher high. Okay, and we then body closed below that to put in this lower low. I just want to show you at the time that UCAD, when we were looking for that long re-entry setup, I've just gone down to the 1 hour, so it was around about, when is the evening here, that I was waiting for something like that to happen, and it never did. So we abandoned this long trade. I'll show you. We had a limit round about here on the EMA to catch that higher low if it came in. So that didn't happen, and I'll just show you on the Discord those calls that we were putting out for UCAD. Okay, so again, just that's what we were waiting for, right? We had put the limits on to try and catch what we're showing in the image there, and it just never happened. It just carried on longing, and then it topped out. And then when it had topped out, it actually came all the way around. So at this time, we still had that long limit on UCAD because it hadn't shifted structure just yet. So we were still expecting a higher low to come in to put in a new higher high at that time. And in the meanwhile, I was hunting the daily wick on GJ if it starts rejecting off the EMA. And this at the time is what I posted of what GJ looked like. We were waiting to catch this lower high, and I did catch this before the news broke. So we can go look at that on the chart. At the same time, I said we've deleted the UCAD buy limit. The higher high was put in, and it was way larger. Okay. Also looking for a similar short on UJ to get the top wick of the daily candle off the EMA. So UJ and GJ, we were hunting the shorts, but I only called it on GJ. So let's go have a look at that. Okay, sorry for the mess. I will zoom in. I'm just going to hide the weekly levels, right? You just keep the daily levels on. The blue lines is the daily open, and you can see the structure. Let me just get rid of this. Get rid of all of that. I'm going to zoom in, and I've already shown you this was a higher low that was broken, so that means this was a lower low. And as I had mapped it in the image that I showed you in the Discord, we wanted that to occur, and that is the position that I got with your low hanging fruit. That was your lower high, and you wanted it to put in right here your new lower low with a candle body closing below that level. And you can see on my FTMO that was just a safe cheeky 1.5. Alpha was way more aggressive. Don't need to do that anyway. And because what you want really, this move, it wasn't great. I'll show you UJ. UJ was a bit better because you actually came into the EMA and then went off at the lower high. Here we didn't really get that EMA, that nice body of the candle pulling back to the EMA. Doesn't matter, it's fine. We will take it and be happy with that. So we were in and out, and then you can see the news broke and it went crazy and then carried on dumping. So we can look at UJ. I think twice I called the UJ. Yeah, was gonna short. This was that initial one on Tuesday, so that was the equivalent GJ move. You can see we didn't get the body close on UJ, so maybe it's better that I had chosen to play GJ. Although GJ didn't look great on the EMA, UJ looked better. It had a better pullback to the EMA, and then after the news broke, we had this, but I don't think you would have been safe with these candles and wicks anyhow. There's the candle body close that we wanted below that level to put in the new lower low. So that's what that looked like. Okay, on to the next. Wednesday morning, EA, EU, GCAD, UCAD might be flipping bearish on the 2-day close. We'll be hunting daily top wicks at lower highs. So I said I'm hunting this. If the 2-day boomerang's back up, I'm going to abandon it. So let's see how it forms. I should have waited for the 2-day candle to close on this because it was very aggressive going into the news. It was really silly of me. But this is what GCAD looked like. We wanted to catch this. And I'll show you UCAD was the same. We had marked it up. We just didn't play it. So GCAD, UCAD, that was what we were waiting for at the time. Let's go and have a look on the charts. All right, here it is. That was my arrow. That was what we were expecting for both UCAD and GCAD. And for whatever reason, I preferred GCAD. I thought that the step staircase that it was putting in, as far as structure was concerned, was far cleaner than what UCAD was putting in. And I can go and show that to you on the chart. We'll just start here. You can see it was just body closing. So then, you know, I thought that this was not going to be a perfect, this is a lower low. And then this would have been the lower high. But I just didn't think, I thought it was going to come back up more aggressively is what I'm trying to say. You would never have been safe from this wick anyhow. You would have been stopped out. But the idea of following the structure and seeing it play out, there's your lower high, you know, that the idea of mapping the structure, it definitely helps. So that was that playing out. Ignore that. I'm forward testing a lower low, long, back up towards the EMA. Would never play that on my real account, so you can just ignore that. And let's have a look at a GCAD. Ah, wow, this was a real dog because it's gonna go towards the take profit anyway. So this is where we were looking at this lower low, and this is what I had drawn. You can even see that there's my lower high, which is now not correct because the news has distorted everything. I have to really delete that. I was looking for daily shorts. I wanted that to happen, like you saw on UCAD. And you can see that I'd already marked up that when you get a candle body closing below this level, that's your new lower low. And that would have been my take profit point. It went berserk off the tariff news, but it is now deciding to come back and honor the original structure. This is your daily take profit, by the way. When you get a candle, a daily candle, body closing below this level, it will be your ultimate take profit. And it looks like it is going to run that level anyway now, which is really annoying. So we had a limit, I think. I think Aaron had put something like, if I'm not mistaken, because I thought it was going to come in while we were sleeping. It was, you can see here, 8 o'clock, midnight. So we would have been sleeping, and we left a limit on, assuming that this was going to be that lower high to then go towards the take profit. You know, which would have been, if that was the case, a decent trade, 2R. Yeah, that's totally fine. Plus the GJ trade we had earlier, which is 1.5 on FTMO. Like, that was nice. That would have been really healthy. But that's what happened to us. And I think everyone got stopped out of that trade. So I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have even called that with this news. But hopefully that has been the takeaway for the learning, is that the structure is still really good as a roadmap. Ultimately, it is respecting and following the initial plan, even though it was very turbulent times. And that was Iron just showing the limit that we had put that I just showed you already. And what else have we got? Okay, I was mapping a short on EJ. I said I'm not taking this, I'm just forward testing it while I'm waiting for GCAD. That was sad. Okay. And then I said that NJ is kind of looking bullish on the 1 hour but bearish on the daily structure. This was my UJ, which I've already shown you the chart as well, projecting it to short to that level, because that was our GJ move had already shorted and taken profit here, remember? And UJ hadn't done that yet. We hadn't had a body close below this level, which again, I've already showed you that has now run all the way down to this expected yearly average level. Anyhow, we can go and look at EJ and see how EJ went. I think EJ was a lot more choppy. So let's go do that. Well, that was terrible. I don't know how you would have caught this move. It was really disgusting. So it's touched those levels. It's very just choppy, sideways, just terrible. There's just nothing you can do with this. So I'm glad I didn't take that. And let's move on to the last portion of our calls for the week. Oh boy, cryptocurrency. Wednesday, 7:40 p.m. Bitcoin 1 hour long potentially. And then I said the same for ETH and Solana. It did long, but it was only a scalp long. And then it got destroyed by the tariff news. So let's go look at Wednesday, 7:40 p.m. Okay, I'll just do Bitcoin's chart because I'm sure they're all fairly similar. So you can see here, this was a lower high, this was a lower high, and as soon as you, well, almost getting a body close above here, that is your shift in trend. Okay, so if that was a body closing above a lower high, you can say from that point onwards, you're bullish. Okay, that would be your bullish shift. Then this is your higher low over here, and that's all you're wanting. You're just wanting to keep on hitting the higher lows in an uptrend. And as soon as you're putting in a higher high each time, I'm just going to pretend like that was a body closing above, even though it's like more equal. That's when you want to take profit. So this is definitely, it was a scalp situation. Okay, so this is your higher high, this is your higher high, this is your higher high, and ultimate high before the news just destroyed you basically. So higher low, here we are, Wednesday, 8 p.m. So it's a bit, the call was a bit late. You really want to be, you know, on this EMA coming off with the higher low. If you caught that scalp, that's really all it was. And once you start getting a body close above the higher high, you need to be breaking even or taking profit. And those are the sorts of things that Aaron and I are going to be teaching now going forward. And then you can apply the indicators after you understand that structure. But you can see it was a trigger wave, and then it got reversed. So you have to manage your trade all the time, especially in a week like the week we've just had. And that's all I got for you guys this week. Unfortunately, it was not a great week. Probably GJ was my only good situation. I know I called GCAD on Monday, that long scalp, but that was a tiny percentage compared to, you know, what I caught on my FTMO account. GJ was really good to me. And then we lost the GCAD short, so I won 2 and I lost 1 this week. I am net positive for the week myself, and hopefully next week will be better to us. If you guys have any questions, just let us know. Thanks, guys.